Hey, happy holidays. It is Multiverse Unlimited, and we are back. We have Jay, Mike, and Rob with us tonight. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing well.
Great.
Yep, can't complain, really. Can't complain.
A happy holidays. Y'all still full from last week?
Oh, yeah, still shitting.
How long did the leftovers last?
Ours lasted at least a good 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it lasted through the weekend at least.
Yeah,
there's still something in there. I don't know how much.
I know they say you're supposed to throw them away after 3 days, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
still something in there.
And if you like containing it, got it, properly secured, then you should be all right.
Those are the cats that never grew up in the struggle.
Right. Like, how does it smell? Like, if it smells all right, you good,
right?
Like,
exactly.
There ain't no mold on it or nothing.
Right,
we're good to go.
Heat that shit
they
up.
got hardy enzymes. They all
right. That's extra protein.
All right, so we had Thanksgiving last week. We had Black Friday last week. I'm only bringing that up to ask: did you guys grab any games or any nothing?
I actually didn't get anything.
I picked up Spider-Man 2 on a digital store because it was on sale. I think it was 40% off. So yeah, I picked that one up.
That's you talking about the Miles Morales one, right?
No.
Wait. I'm sorry. The one with Miles Morales.
Yeah, the one with both of them in it. Yeah.
So with that comment, I gotta go to Mike. How you doing with your Spider-Man adventure?
I haven't played it in about a month. But like I say, I just finished this semester, so I won't go back to school to January. So nice. I plan on getting some time in.
Really good game, man. It really was. It was so good that there was no need for a second playthrough. Like, and those games are so big. I would never play a game like that. I don't have it in me anymore. Let me say that, because the original San Andreas, I beat that 3 times. There's no need to beat San Andreas 3 times. Like, there's absolutely no reason. But games that big, you don't need to play more than once. All right, so I'm glad you guys had a good holiday. Of course, we're watching Christmas movies, but that is a different show. We have some news. We have possibly of She-Hulk season 2. I was actually surprised at the reaction. I don't know if the show has aged well since it went off, but a lot of people on the posts and on the Facebook page, and for people tuned in for the first time, we have a Facebook page, Multiverse Unlimited, where all the geeks and comic book guys go to talk. But a lot of people were looking forward to it. Mike, you said you didn't hate it. What are your feelings about a possible season 2 coming in for She-Hulk?
I'll be honest, I'm cool with it. I didn't hate the show. It was kind of like the old 80s, 90s comics. She did pretty much the same thing she did there. A lot of the breaking the fourth wall and doing it. People complain about her twerking, but she jumped rope naked in that twerking, comic.
Mike, stop that shit.
Oh, let him finish. We gonna come to you. I'm looking at your face now. Let him finish.
People did get mad about her twerking, but I mean, like I say, in the comic, she jumped butt naked. I put a GIF in the group. It is what it is. She did weird shit, and I'm cool with it. And I'm down to watch it. I'd rather honestly see that than another season of Loki. I really would.
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not cool. I don't like this good guy Loki. I want good old grumpy. I'm playing tricks on Thor Loki. So I don't want this good Loki.
I'm with you, right? Before we go to Jay, I did want to talk about the Loki switch up. I don't like this. I've never liked this Loki. Like, I grew up with Loki being like, just like, if he showed up, it was about to be some serious shit, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like this charming, smiling, and
Got his hair all slicked back, wearing suits.
Right, this mischievous Loki. Yeah, I want the Loki that was making deals with Mephisto and the other, evil people on Asgard, tricking people and shit. But that was a little sidebar there. I had to show my,
big man-sized horn, not the
horn. I want that. The Loki I grew up with was like a really strong sorcerer, and he had the wrecker strength after he had stolen from him. Like he was strong and he could throw some spells at you. That's my Loki. But even in the comics now, he's been affected by MCU. Yes. We talk about Iron Man being affected, but Loki, since the MCU, he's been a kid. He's been a girl. Now last time I saw him, he was just him and Thor was cool, and he ruled Jotunheim. Like it was just like, okay, all right.
Yeah, we better be careful because he's going to be the next one. He's going to turn into a mayor, so he gets his cheeks clapped, and then give birth to the world serpent or whatever.
Yeah, yep.
They'll be like, it's canon. It's canon.
Yeah. Jay, let's go back to you about She-Hulk. I
think over time people just forget how terrible it was. All the plot holes, the terrible characterization, the bad digital effects. Like the show was shitty. Like, and then the twerking after that was just the cherry on top of the poop sundae.
All right, so let me ask you: is there a difference between what her dancing and like Deadpool's dancing, like which got over?
Because Deadpool is funny.
Okay,
She-Hulk was not. It wasn't a funny show. Mm-hmm. Can y'all tell me one time y'all laughed like, "Ooh, that was funny"? Like, no. You may have giggled a couple times. She-Hulk was annoying. The character was annoying. Mm-hmm. She dissed the Hulk real hard.
Yeah, I couldn't get over that.
Deadpool was annoying as fuck.
But he's annoying and funny.
He's annoying and chuckles, but I mean,
you're being contrary, Mike. You're being contrary. You think because you got an education now, you just going to
I'm still working on that, sir. But still, I've never been a Deadpool fan. I've never been this guy. Like, I gotta have more Deadpool. No. I'm all right. I'm good. I'll never need to see Deadpool again in any form either. I'm good with that.
I mean, I'm not a super hyper Deadpool fan, but at least I laugh when I watch it. I wasn't laughing at She-Hulk. I was like rolling my eyes. Every plot, all the plot twists and threads, they just didn't shore none of them up. Mm-hmm. It was just one big stupid, idiotic fight at the end that made no sense. And then she like walks down to this robot. The plot-driven 5,000 megabot or whatever, and it was stupid. The whole show was stupid. All right, nobody can tell me that show wasn't dumb.
All right, let's get to Rob, and
wait. One more thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Now, everybody talks about, she broke the fourth wall. She did this and did that. Like, there's a big difference, by the way, the comics broke the fourth wall and the way that the show breaks the fourth wall.
Okay, you got it.
Back in the day, when we were reading the comics back in the day, it was kind of like they were breaking the comic was breaking the fourth wall. It was self-aware and it was kind of making fun of itself, and we would laugh along with them making fun of itself. Mm-hmm. The show was breaking the fourth wall to like shit on people that said there was like, oh, you're mad that there's a female She-Hulk. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh, it's an inside joke and we're all laughing together. It was like, we're these like overbearing writers in this writer room, and we're going to laugh at you nerds for not liking the way we did She-Hulk. That's what it was.
I remember a little bit of the antagonizing. I don't know if that word can be used there. Yeah. But okay, so there's Rob. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay. Were you finished?
Oh, I'm done. But yeah, okay. It was shit. We all know it was terrible.
Go ahead, Rob. What are your feelings? We getting She-Hulk possibly. Like I post rumors on the page for conversation reasons, but like, what do you think about that coming back?
Well, since I kind of fall in between both Mike and Jay's opinions, like, yeah, there was some of it that's okay, some of it was tolerable, but again, like Jay said, the story went nowhere. They had no ending. They wrote themselves into a corner and like, well, shit, how do we resolve this? Well, let's just have her crawl out of the TV and insult the fans and talk to Robo Feige. And then we come back and everything's already resolved. We don't even get to see it. If that's what they plan on doing for season 2, then you can count me out of it. I would like to see her actually, participate in something. Like we get it, we get it. We got her origin story. She got her powers. We know that she's an alcoholic, is very unhappy in her life, but we need to actually see her use her powers, as a hero and not just for personal gain. I think that would be the kind of thing that we want to see, or I would want to see if they do make a season 2. Work with somebody else, work with somebody who's an actual hero, learn the ropes. I don't think she stands very well on her own. She needs to have somebody else with her.
And that's real. That's real.
That's fair.
But she did at the beginning, and she pooped all over him.
Well, see, here's my thing, right? Like I was on life support until the last episode, right? I was ready to give it a chance. I watched it, and I did not like certain things, the disrespect of the whole.
What was the last episode? What happened then? I don't remember.
Exactly. You don't know, and you don't remember. See, like I was surprised from the post watching the positive reaction, and I know I feel. And I don't mean to be antagonizing here. Some people like, oh, I liked it too. I think they're saying that just to be. What was the word you just used? Because I'm gonna use that next week when I go back to work. Contrary. What did you say? That? Like so. I wanted to ask people like, what was this first season about? Like that no trick question. Like, what was it about? I did not like the last episode. That I died. I died on the car. I died in surgery. There
was it because of Scar?
That was bad. Like the interpretation of Daredevil was bad. Special effects were bad.
Walk of shame, Daredevil.
Yeah, I'm like Daredevil, who arguably has been, what do we say, like top 3 best portrayed characters on live action. He was brought down like, like you would look like a fool. Like, and Mike, I'm directing this towards you. Like, if you were talking to one of your casuals and maybe it came across wrong, they would tell you like the Daredevil, like that was the character was corny. You could be like, what? Like, did you watch the Netflix? It's always what you watched last. Like that people what they remember. I didn't like his interpretation. Like it was just, I wanted to give it a chance. And like I'm probably end up watching it. I'm at this point now. Like I can't just say I don't like something. I'm gonna watch it and tell you why I don't. But I'm not gonna say it's whatever, but if they're gonna come back, it has to be some direction. Like, what is she doing? I'm pretty sure there was some direction in the first season, but it was not like it wasn't something that stuck in your mind. I remember the thing with Wong and the Abomination wearing an outfit to like some kind of I don't know where
it wasn't the wrecking crew in there at some point.
Yeah, the wrecking crew was in there, and Intelligentsia. Yeah, now that group it's fairly new, but that was like Doom and the leader, the people who created the Red Hulk.
Oh yeah,
but they were just throwing names out there, and like I hate when they do that. Just like you can't just throw names out there for. I know you're not doing it for the comic book readers, because like if I tell Mike, hey Mike, the Wrecking Crew is going to be on episode 3 of She-Hulk. You might be like, oh, okay, let me go check it out. And you're like, that's not the fucking Wrecking Crew. Whereas if you just said, oh, this is, I don't know, somebody, like, just use some name. Like, you're not going to be disappointed, you as the reader, and the casual ain't going to care. It's like, I'm like, the casual's not going to know who the Wrecking Crew is.
No.
They're not. Like, I couldn't, like, what was it? Would Thor be their main antagonist? Like,
I've only was,
yeah. Like I've only really seen them in there, and I saw the record fought Iron Man and Acts of Vengeance beat his ass. But like that was the only comic I had ever seen him outside of Thor. So I had a bunch of complaints there, but I guess I'll be open to it. But it's got to be better because the first season.
I mean, if they can improve one, I'm still gonna. I would give it a shot, and I still stand by what I said. I'm looking forward. I would look more forward to that in Loki season 3. I'm just not into this good Loki, and no matter what, I'm just not.
That last season was confusing to Loki. Like it's something. Like, as soon as you said,
you really do have to pay attention.
Yeah,
I can't tell you about that season either. I can't tell you about nothing that happened on that, but that's just my memory on all that. So it doesn't really.
I'm not sure if that show gave us a memory, a moment when he went inside the tree, and that was the end of him. But I don't know what. I'm not going to say there was no plot point. I just didn't understand it. There was a lot of time travel and a lot of dialogue, and maybe I should have watched that. My vacation's over, but I'll have to put that back on at some point.
Yeah, anytime you have a plot revolving around a causality loop and time travel, you got to really pay attention.
Yeah, especially when they go that deep. I'd rather deal with that than you're going back in the past as your new future, so you can't, like Bruce, stick the gamma bombs and gamma radiation. Like why would I take your time travel theory seriously when you can't even time travel? What else we got? Mike and Jay, you guys had a discussion about. Well, Mike, you go ahead. You take control here and talk about the discussion you and Jay had a week ago, I believe.
It was we had a discussion about what was it, Optimus Prime?
Yeah.
About replacing Optimus Prime's voice, whatever, and I'm cool with any actor being replaced, and there's nothing that's too iconic for me that's like only this guy can do it, and I just don't feel it. And I'm told. And what were they talking about doing? Just what recording
AI, doing the AI like they did with James Earl Jones for Darth Vader.
And I don't even like that. Yeah, I don't like that. I just don't. It's
Jay,
nothing,
I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I'm just saying there's nothing that's too iconic. Give somebody else a shot.
And Mike, you were for that?
No, I'm against it. I want a new actor to get a job. I don't want just to be hung up on this one person. And then, like I say, that's the same thinking that gives us this whole no recast T'Challa shit or no recast anybody.
That's why I was surprised. So Jay, you were for that.
I'm for it only because I understand the sentiment because it's almost a correlation, but it's not quite apples to apples, right?
Okay.
T'Challa was new to the scene. We've been kind of itching for Black Panther if you were a fan, right? Mm-hmm. Chadwick came in and he did a great job, and then unfortunately he died, right? Mm-hmm. So there's not a history of T'Challa on screen. Like, as much as people want to say T'Challa is Chadwick Boseman, he was just one time. Ooh. Optimus Prime, there's a voice attached to Optimus Prime since the 80s, and it's kind of it's almost the same thing as his character design. That voice is Optimus Prime.
So you're saying this is okay because of longevity?
It's longevity, and it's like he's been Optimus Prime almost forever.
I don't know, man.
The times and we all have young kids. I don't know if you guys have watched any of the kids Transformers that kind of pop off on Netflix. I've seen a
couple of them. They're not.
I've seen War for Cybertron and that trilogy.
Well, that's not really a kids one though. I mean, it's kind of, but I'm talking about like the kiddie one. But we can include
I know what you're talking about, like the rescue bots.
The rescue. Right. Whenever they have Optimus Prime on there and it's not that voice,
it hits you.
It's corny.
Yeah,
it's corny.
Is it corny or does it just bother you?
No, it's corny. No, it's corny.
It's corny, but I'm gonna say put it like this. I'm not gonna use that word. It's startlingly different because
he does not hit the same.
War on Cybertron. That wasn't Cullen, was it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. I didn't even notice it because most of the good ones that have stepped in try to model it. They try to sound like him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. I don't know about that, Jay. I
don't know because every time I hear an Optimus Prime that's not Cullen, I notice it. Yeah. So now going back to Transformers 1, where Optimus Prime comes up out of Cybertron, and they're like, "Hurrah, it's Optimus Prime." Yeah. Now, if that would have been Cullen's voice, tell me that would not have hit way harder.
I might have cried. Yeah,
it would have hit way harder.
I was already crying. I saw it coming. So
it was dope. And he did a good job he did a better job as Pax. I mean, Optimus, he was like 25 minutes as Optimus, and it wasn't terrible. I'm not even saying he was bad.
And I have seen Transformers 1 since the last time we met, and that was really good. And like he was good, and I wish for any future Transformer projects they actually concentrate on that time period, like before Earth. With it's just like I enjoyed No Humans.
Yeah,
I like hearing about the Transformer. What was I about to say?
The war with
the history and everything. Yeah, and it's just I'm done with humans.
Yeah, we don't need humans and Transformers
unless
I agree.
Unless what's my man?
Unless it's G.I. Joe, the Transformers and the G.I. Joe.
What's my man name? Shy. Shy come back. They ain't been the same since Shy left, man. Like I'm sorry.
I can agree with you on that.
It ain't been the same. Everybody else that done tried. I usually like
Mark Wahlberg the day yesterday whenever I was in the
he didn't hit the same. Shia LaBeouf,
it was crazy because I like Mark Wahlberg. I can't think of a role where I was like, oh, like why is he in it? But that was not for him. That was not for. Oh well, I didn't see that one, but like that was not for him. Transformers was not for him.
It wasn't for him. It wasn't. It was damn. That movie was corny. Like I said.
What was the one with the Dinobots? That one was like
that was the one with Grimlock was in that.
Oh
one.
Yeah, that was
hot mess. Like why was that bad movie so long? It wouldn't stop. It just kept going.
It was really long, wasn't it?
Yes.
Is there a point when it can stop being called live action? When you have,
I know, right? It's 90% animation.
Well, it's funny because I remember seeing a meme for Lion King, the live action one. They were like, "How is this live action when it's totally animated?" You know,
right?
Real lions don't talk. Yeah, that's
right. Like you got to lose that.
When you have
Snow White and Seven Dwarfs,
they got to come up with a different name, a different term.
Snow White,
What's
hyper realism or something?
Something. It gotta be something else.
A re-rendering or what's the term they use with rendering?
Recreation. Reimagining.
Yeah. That'll work.
That'll work. But live action ain't the one.
That ain't it.
Yeah, because it's definitely not live action.
That ain't it.
It's funny. My 100-year-old grandmother, she saw one of those. It may have been The Lion King, and she was like, "Why are those lions talking?" Now, keep in mind, she's 100, right? So, she's like, "What is going on? How did they get them lions to talk?"
She's like, "Call the hospital. The animal's talking to me."
So it do look real. So
it does.
But it is.
The untrained eye, right? Like you're walking in and you're gonna be like, "What is this shit?" Like
that's like tricking old people with a Madden and telling them it's a real football game. And they'll be up there watching it too, like, woo! Like you see that spin move?
now you want to talk about like Madden and people watching play games. Like there was only like a couple games I played where my wife was like, "You can't play this until I get home." I'm watching, and it was Heavy Rain.
Oh wow!
She's like, "You can't play it until I get home." Heavy Rain was just like. It was no like gunfights or
it's just a movie, basically.
Yeah, right? It is a movie. It is a movie
with some choices that you can make.
Right. It was like those choose your own adventure books. But that was a good game. I'm sorry, just a tangent there. I had to mention that. Yeah, she was like, "You can't play it until I get home. I want to see what happens." So I was like, "Oh, okay."
So for your
all
guys'
that to say,
I was gonna say for your guys' conversation about Optimus Prime, would you eventually Peter's going to pass away, but when they do replace him, do you want somebody new or do you want somebody who can kind of mimic the old established voice everybody's used to?
I'd rather somebody try to.
I'd rather somebody try to mimic him because some people can do it.
Mm-hmm.
They 100% can do it or do it to a point where. You know it's not him, but you're like, this is acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you mentioned that War on Cybertron, which was also very good.
Was.
That guy was he was pretty good, and even we were just talking about Transformers one. Chris Hemsworth, yeah.
He was good. I did not hate him as Optimus. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, this is terrible.
Right.
But in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, this is Cullen. It would be. Ugh.
Jay, this is not like you to make these emotional decisions.
It is not. It's not at all.
But this is Transformers, though. It's a little different. It's a little different.
So listen, we all out. We're gonna put this all out in the open here. Like I think you are being hypocrite here. I think you need to watch.
Hey, I'll accept that badge on this one. I won't even deny it. I won't deny it. Because I'm super recast T'Challa, so I'm not even. I'll accept the badge.
Like, no, you can't.
I'll accept it.
One or the other.
My man going to accept the term, and he will not apologize. That's okay. That's okay.
As long as I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's funny when you make these emotional choices. It is so like obvious because you do not make them often. I'm like, why is he doing this? You know, it's just obvious for you, man. I don't know.
It's the same thing with Darth Vader, though.
What's that?
His voice it's too iconic. It has to be James Earl Jones.
Is it because it's just the voice? Are you like making a different like stance on this because of the voice?
I'm making a different stance because of the history behind it, right? Like if you heard Darth Vader and it wasn't James Earl Jones' voice, you would notice, and it would be off-putting.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, right?
Not enough for me. It ain't gonna bother me. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you a question because I'm trying to think of another situation where like a voice would be as iconic. Is that like
there's not many.
There's not, but I'm trying to think of certain roles. Like, would you accept someone else doing the voice of like Unicron if they redid that movie? Even though you would, because it was only the one time.
It's only that one time.
Okay, I gotta think of a better example, but I can't.
How do you feel about Jason Momoa as Conan?
The movie was entertaining. I didn't hate the movie.
But himself, how do you feel about Jason?
I don't know if I liked his portrayal of Conan that much. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it was too, like, Samoan. Like, because everything Jason Momoa does, he's always doing that taka. Like, he always gets that feeling. I don't know. Man, like, I didn't hate it. I was entertained by it. So I'm not one of those people that hated that movie. Like, I watch it.
Not lose any Samoan listeners.
Conan to me. I thought he was good.
The little kid Conan at the beginning killed it, though. I love the little kid Conan. Yeah, with the egg in his mouth and all that. Yeah, he was a beast.
I didn't like his dad. What's his dad? What's his name?
What was his dad's name?
The one that played Hellboy. I can't think of his name.
Perlman.
Yeah, Brian Perlman. That his name. Yeah, I didn't like him. Actually, I didn't like many of the actors except for Momoa and the little Momoa. Everybody was pretty much annoying as shit to me.
Yeah, I didn't hate that movie too much.
I didn't, and I wouldn't mind. It needed a sequel, honestly, to kind of fix some things. But you know, I get it. People can't let go, and that's a movie where they can't get low. People are still comparing that to Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger did it in 1982.
Right.
Schwarzenegger,
he kind of killed it. He kind of killed it.
He got to do something with that before.
But he only had 3 lines.
We got to do King Conan, Arnold.
But he only killed it in the first one. The second one was on par with this one. It was at least on par. The first one, the Barbarian, was still perfect. Yeah.
Right, that is one of the few perfect films.
It is.
So, I'm gonna circle back to Jay's point with the voice real quick because I had to think of some of my hypocriticism or understanding of what he's talking about. Now, you guys saw Earth's Mightiest Heroes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that ended after 2 seasons because Marvel or Disney wanted the cartoons to be more like Marvel. But the guy who does Tony Stark's voice and knows turns me off from the whole series because it is so he's trying to sound like RDJ and it makes me sick. Like I
never even noticed it.
Dude, his dialogue is bad. His voice is terrible. I can't watch that series because of him. Oh wow! And they had like a lot of good stories. Like some of the stories that are in it, they had Thanos in there. They had a version of the Ultimates, but they were the Mighty Avengers. They were a second team of. They had the Inhumans on there. They had a lot of like good stuff going on. I cannot watch it because of him, and the voice is just.
To go back to that, T'Challa on there, he was dope, and then you got the T'Challa from what was that Marvel Knight series from way back?
I didn't see that one.
Where it was like almost like an animated comic book. Almost the animation wasn't quite so smooth. It was kind of it was a little childish. No, it was 2D, but it was like
was this pre MCU?
It was way before. It was
Okay, I know the one you're talking about. I know.
You can only get it on DVD now. I think it was on like BET night, late night or something. Like
BET, yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, it's extra dope. It had T'Chaka fighting Captain America when he's on his first mission.
Okay.
Was that T'Chaka or the grandfather? That was the series. That was from the comic book.
It wasn't. I don't think it was his dad.
It was his grandfather.
It was
grandfather.
I ain't
talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
you might be right. But yeah, that was
from
good.
That comic they had. Yeah, how you talking about?
So we got these other portrayals of T'Challa that were just as dope, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, you know where we are with that. Like my man from Cross, that's the new Black Panther.
That's the new Black Panther, and even Chadwick Boseman himself would want to be recast.
Well, he's on record.
He's on record saying it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not quite as hypocritical as I may seem at first glance.
It's emotional for me. You just it's alarmingly emotional. It's not even. It's out of character for you to be this attached or emotional.
You my boy. So we're going to get rid of being hypocritical. we're going to use you're more flexible.
I'm more flexible.
Yeah, more flexible.
More flexible.
I'm like a reed in the wind. I'll bend. I won't break.
Right. Be like
I'm not bending on T'Challa on his Black Panther 2.
I'm not bending on either one.
I ain't bending on Black Panther 2.
Somebody else need a new job. Replace all of them. I'm fine with anybody.
Can you imagine if let's just say Sean Connery got to a point where he couldn't do James Bond. Like there are no more James Bond movies. Like when he got too old to do it. Like that's just. I swear we were too peaceful. We were having too much fun. They we cannot have this shit.
Right.
Okay, no more Black Panther movies. Even if we make another Black Panther movie, it's got to be depressing. We're going to
have 5 funerals in it.
Right? Damn. It wasn't no blood pressure or heart issues involved in the Black families' death. They were just dying.
They the most advanced people on Earth, and they can't cure sickle cell, whatever he died from.
Listen, man, they. Wow.
Then we gonna have the black people get beat up by the Puerto Ricans.
The shit.
What's going on?
The reason for him dying is so it's not acceptable.
Right.
He got sick.
That's why it's open to a recast. It's for one, he died off camera. It's right there.
He ain't get a heroic ending or nothing.
Right.
He just withered away in bed.
I would have been more accepted of that. Like he went on a mission and he just presumed dead.
Right.
Like you should have done that. You should have done that.
They should have did that. He
should have done that.
Right.
They could have started off the intergalactic Wakanda, had him go off into space and
right there. He should come back with his whole.
He didn't come back.
But like the Fourth Guardians movie or something.
Exactly. It's right there.
They
find him out in space. Right. I'm with that too.
How many movies was in? 4 movies? T'Challa's in 4 movies? In the MCU, he was in 4 movies.
Was he?
He's in Civil War, Black Panther, Infinity War, and Endgame.
And Endgame, he just nodded his head and said,
he died. In those 4 movies, he died twice.
Yep.
And then it was like, God damn it. Yeah, we was having too much fun.
It was too much. It was having. We can't be happy too long.
We was on the verge of world peace when Black Panther.
I said that in school.
It's true.
I pissed somebody off, and I called that little kid a bastard. I'm like, I hate that little bastard.
I was wearing dashikis to the movie theater.
Yeah, man. People in West Philadelphia was just hitting each other up.
Everybody was.
You didn't even know. You didn't even have to know anybody.
No, it replaced this.
I told you the little white kid with his uniform. I was his bodyguard. He was safe. He made me cry because he had his T'Challa uniform, had his mask and everything. I'm like, look, man, I'm with you. I'm with you. Whatever, anything happened, me and you, I'm with it. I was just that was somebody. You were too happy.
He said you was gonna be his Dora Milaje.
Right there.
Yeah. And you bald too, so.
No, I got hair, sir. That's camera.
So, like from the highs of Black Panther to the lows of the Sony universe.
Okay, let's do it.
Has anyone seen Craven yet?
I don't want to.
I haven't.
Rob, you normally go see these movies.
It's not out till next week, isn't it?
Okay, all right. Damn, I thought it came and went already. But
I'm
the
gonna try.
news.
I'll still go try to see
Okay.
it. I've subjected myself to the other ones, so you might as
So
well.
the word is that this will be the end. They aren't going to be making any more movies after this. They aren't profitable. Um, I don't know what the plan was with villains being heroes, and I know why they're doing it because they don't want to give it back to Marvel, Disney.
And Venom was successful, so they thought they had something there.
Yeah,
But they don't understand that it wasn't because he was a villain. It was because Venom is a very popular character.
Popular
It
character.
wasn't good either. It was just
Nobody
a popular
knows who the
character.
fuck Madam Web is.
Yeah, but damn.
Craven.
Even if you do
This
know
is not
who's
Craven. Vegan
Yeah.
Craven.
Vegan Craven. You know that is probably like there's not much of a stretch for Venom because Venom he became somewhat of like a hero at some point. Like I don't know where he is now, but when I was reading Spider-Man Heavy in the '90s, he was protecting San Francisco. I think at one point after
He was on
Protector,
his anti-hero road.
right, and he helped Spider-Man with Carnage a couple times. But the Craven, you gonna try to sell me a Craven hero package
Right.
here?
Craven is wild. There's no
There's
heroic redemption for him.
No redeeming qualities, and they're trying to make him protecting the animals. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Is that a fucking lion's head?
His name is Craven the Hunter.
Right. Not Craven Captain Planet, but Craven the Hunter. I think that was a stretch. It was a super stretch, and they were just grabbing the wrong characters for me. You know what would have been dope? A Prowler movie, because I know you got rights to that. I that would have made me like, oh, like who's playing him? I always fuck with the Prowler. Before the Miles Morales entanglement there, but when back in the day, you know, he had the Spider-Man looking mask, he had the cape, and you know, he made his own gizmos too. He had the claws and everything. You know, he had that. I've mentioned Silver Sable more than once on here. That I don't know how that wouldn't have been. Yeah, hired gun. There was one more.
Shit, Black Cat.
See, I was curious. Like, would you go see that?
If they did it right, I could see a Black Cat movie.
Okay.
I'd have to have Spider-Man in it or something at least.
Well, you ain't got no Spider. You ain't got no Spider. You got the guy from Madam Web, the no frill Spider-Man.
Ain't none of them selling me on it, honestly. None of his Rogues Gallery cousins, none of them making me like I want to go see it.
Right.
Except I could actually have seen if they did it better the Morbius movie if they went in that vampire. If it could have been done better, because I could see him being a vampire and just doing the streets without Spider-Man, but it was just a bad movie. Whether Spider-Man was in it or not, that movie was just bad.
It didn't seem like there was any effort. Like we're more than we know that Sony can make these movies. They made a couple with with Garfield and I'm forgetting my man's name. OG Spider-Man.
Not
Toby.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire,
So there were people in place. Let's just say they were in place. They're able to make these movies, but I didn't see any effort. Like there's nothing.
No, it's like a little quick cash grab. It really
Like you said, they're just trying to keep it from Marvel. That's all.
And like,
is that in the deal type? If they don't use it, lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
If they don't make a movie in a certain amount of time, then their rights revert.
Well, that's what happened with Daredevil. I forgot who had him before Marvel. It was some kind of deal because they were done making them. Anyway, but yeah, it's like you got to use it or you lose it, and they're doing just enough where they're like, oh, think about this, Mike. It's like you're in the living room, you're half asleep, and your wife's trying to take the TV, but you're clearly asleep. No, I'm still watching it. I'm still watching it. You know? And like you're asleep. Like no, I got it.
And like if they're not making any money off these movies, why not just sell it to Marvel, cut your losses, be done with it?
Because they keep trying to make what they can. They've already made their money back. Because if I remember right, they only paid $7 million.
Yeah, because they bought those rights in the '90s, right?
Yeah,
Marvel was going bankrupt.
Marvel was bankrupt, right?
So they could have bought the whole Marvel for what, $25 million?
I've heard
Right.
that.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You know, so they
Well,
made
Michael
their
Jackson
money
was
back.
trying to bomb.
Mike was
to play Spider-Man. He wanted to play Peter Parker.
No, you didn't hear that. They have a video snippet of him talking about. He's like, "We're going to make theme parks. We're going to do blah blah. We're going like he had this whole map set up.
They took Mike out. And
They took him out.
And took his idea.
Straight jacked him.
Took the moonwalker.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did try to play Spider-Man. Had Spider-Man moonwalking on the ceiling and stuff.
Could you imagine Mike as Peter Parker?
It would have had to have been a musical. I can't like if it was like on some Moonwalker type shit, then I would have gave it a go. But
I couldn't see light skinned Mike as Peter Parker. I couldn't see brown skinned Mike, but I couldn't see Super Bowl Mike come up with the
it ain't no version of Mike that could. Well, off the wall Mike could have been Peter.
Yeah,
Parker.
I'm saying wide nose Mike I could have seen. I couldn't see. You know, what's it? Remember the time, Mike, and on down playing Peter Parker.
Thriller, maybe.
That's as far as I'm going.
Yeah,
as far as I'm going, Thriller, Billy Jean, Mike. But that's it.
But off the wall, definitely.
Definitely off the wall, Mike could have played it. He could have been Miles Morales. I could see that.
He could have been the Prowler. Just talking about it,
yeah.
Right?
He could have been like in the hood. Like he could have performed "Beat It," breaking up gang violence and everything.
Who's bad?
Right. You know, playing Speed Demon, like, you know, swinging through the city. Right.
His web could have been, his hand could have been.
Like, he could have had like a breakup song.
Oh, he had a glittery gun, like a glittery glove for his web shooter.
Play She's Out of My Life when Mary Jane breaks up with him and shit. Like, he had everything. See, we got to put this next to the Transformer and
right.
Fast and the Furious plot script right there. But yeah, they took him out. He had too many ideas, man. Too many ideas. But gathering from what we're talking about now, nobody's going to miss the Sony movies, correct?
Not even a little bit.
All right.
I watched the first two Venoms, did not enjoy it, and I think that's as far as I made it. I didn't make Madam Web. I won't make Craven. I don't want it. My wife wants to see the third Venom, so I'll watch it with her. And that's only because she's my wife. But I would, you know, yeah, it's not high on my list. I watched the movies to kind of see how bad they were. That's pretty much the truth. I watched Morbius to see if it was as bad as everybody thought it was. Because I went into it like, it ain't as bad. I know people just don't know what you talk about. It ain't that bad. Oh, yes, it was. It was not. It was bad.
That's Rob and Terrence hurting themselves intentionally watching these movies.
I
we're
couldn't
going
even finish that movie.
day one, too.
I tried to finish it.
Tried to finish what?
Morbius. I kept falling asleep on it.
You guys are the comic book guys in your lives and shit. I'm getting mad when people were asking me, like, you ain't gonna see that? I'm like, fuck no. They understand why I was so upset. I was like, no, I'm not going to watch that. Damn, stop asking.
That's how I am about Venom. No, I'm not watching that shit. It's not exciting to me. It's going to have gore in it. Now tell me who gore is. I don't know nothing.
Like, do you know how much groundwork needs to be laid for me to be excited about a character of that scale?
Yeah.
Right. I need like 5 movies. Like, what's happening between the second
he definitely
and third
deserves a Thanos treatment.
He definitely.
Yeah.
He could have been the whole big bad in the series. He could have been.
And they wasted him.
They just, I swear, they just grab names. They're like, let's use him.
Like, he's popular. Let's get him.
And he came and went after that King of Black series, which was good. I like what they retconned a lot of stuff that made it make sense with his story, but I don't need to see a movie with him. I don't. Moving on. Rob, you guys see Creature Commandos?
I wanted to watch it. I couldn't get away from the kids to watch that episode.
Mike, he didn't finish.
I will watch it tonight.
Like I said, I turned the Max app on, and that was it. I saw Creature Commandos, and I was unconscious. But I'll get it this weekend. But not because I was y'all out there distant. I wasn't distant. I had a lot to do this weekend. It's all. I'm thinking weekend. It ain't but Friday. I've been out of town for 2 days, so I just got off the road.
So here's the thing with this show. This is the kickoff of the new DC, and this what I'm about to say doesn't really hold any weight, but as of right now, it's got a perfect Rotten Tomatoes score. So that almost made me worried because I'm like, oh, like if they like it, is it any good? I'm going to defer to Rob because he's been quiet. We want to get him involved here. What did you think about the what do you think about the 2 episodes that you watched?
Well, I'm going to keep it as spoiler free as I can because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. But I thought they were really good. Mm-hmm. The animation is pretty top notch, I would say. It kind of reminds me of the Critical Role animation, kind of a mix between like anime-ish and really, really detailed animation. The voice cast is awesome. David Harbour as Frankenstein is still a little kind of off-putting. I don't know if his voice matches that well, but everybody else in it's pretty good. And the good thing from what James Gunn said is that all the voice actors, if these characters want to appear in live action, the actors are going to be the ones playing them.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, he made sure to get people he knows who could actually, appear on screen as the characters as well, which is interesting because I would like to see them bring Cersei to live action. I was kind of, well, I'm not going to get too into it, but I liked it. My only criticism is that since there's only 7 episodes and they're only like 25 minutes long, why didn't they just release them all at once?
Yeah.
That would be like what is it, like a little under 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours.
You said 22 minutes.
Yeah, it would be close to 3 hours, but I mean that's an easy binge.
Or even just breaking in 2-part movie.
Yeah, because I mean, it's kind of weird how they're doing it, where like each episode has like partially an origin story of one of the members of the group.
Yep.
And then it goes into the overarching thing. So it makes the main plot kind of seem like it's not really moving that much.
Right.
And for them only being 20-minute episodes, it's like, come on, there's a lot of stuff we got to get going here. Either make them longer or give us more episodes.
Yeah. It felt like it was stopping and going. And
what was the I'll just do this. The scene where the bride was like beating the crap out of, or was fighting with Cersei, and then I think it was Cersei, and then it's just in the middle of it, it switches to her having sex. Like that was really weird.
It's funny because the guy, it was like a scene before, and I'm like, he's gonna end up having sex with her, and I want to see this will probably be like a better presentation if it's like the way you say, if you can watch it from start to beginning.
Yeah. I think that's something I would recommend is after we watch it, we do a complete rewatch, like all in a row. It'd probably give us a better idea with the pacing and everything.
Now, Gunn has said that, it's not going to be like MCU where everything is actually connected. They're just all going to be in the same universe. Not
the world building, yeah.
Right. So I have no problem with that. Said there'd be no big bad, which a couple years ago I might have looked at that sideways, but seeing how Marvel has struggled to replace Thanos in the last 4 years, I don't have a problem with that either. If you're building the universe, that's fine. I don't have any issues right now. I'm Gunn, he just, if you were in the store and you tried to sell him something brand new, something popular, he'd be like, "What's in the back? What's not being used?" That's how he is with, right. with these characters. I'm like, who the fuck are... the only person I recognized was Cersei and Flag Waller, but the rest of the team, I had never heard of the team.
I know. You talk about going to the bargin bin for characters. He's going to the secondhand stores bargain bin.
Yeah, and I understand
these characters.
It's not a concern. I'm just curious. I know this is one of his strengths with characters. Mm-hmm. So if they end up being popular or whatever, he's added value to the characters that nobody was asking about. So I'm not worried about that. It's just I'm always just curious how he picks these people.
Yeah.
So I'll see how it goes. The music, he got more music you never heard of.
Well, very kind of off-putting some of it is. Like, why is this here and why is it still going?
Yeah, at the end of the first episode, I'm like, this weird ass music. But so far so good.
It's kind of cool that they, I guess, I don't know if we're talking canon at this point, but the events of definitely Peacemaker are connected, and maybe James Gunn's Suicide Squad as well.
Yes, it is, because they talked about that flag dying. Like, he's got a...
Okay, yeah. That's right.
I know he said that Peacemaker season... Oh, wait, what did he say?
It's season 1, because that whole thing is why Waller... It's not?
Well, I'm confused because
it was
they mentioned her daughter ratting her out.
And that was
right, and that was season 1. So they got to iron that out a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why she can't work with humans anymore. She has to kind of expand on to create her Suicide Squad, but with
she's pulling the Bill Belichick. Yeah, you didn't say I couldn't do this, so but you guys should check it out. People listening, and Jay and Mike definitely should give it a watch.
I certainly wasn't expecting nudity.
Oh, I was.
I was like, oh, okay. There's nudity in this.
Two people got laid. And 2 episodes. So, I'm like, okay.
And James Gunn did say that Frank Grillo, as Flag Senior, is going to be in Peacemaker season 2, which I think I just listened to an interview with him today. And I think he said that season 2 is wrapping filming next week.
Okay.
Isn't he in Superman? I saw a picture of him walking with the Superman.
I think he's in there too, yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's the guy from Cap. I didn't know he had switched over.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Phosphorus is going to be in there too, and that's Alan Tudyk.
Because somebody lied to him, Mike. His agent was probably a comic book fan. He's like, yo, you got the Crossbones role. He's like, this is good stuff. He's like, yes. And then he wasn't really Crossbones. He was just a corrupted Hydra. I mean,
the guy who had Crossbones for like 5 minutes on a
Crossbones was fighting Captain America at standstills without any kind of serum, just training and weightlifting, and he was just. I do miss that character. I don't know if he's dead or not now, but like Crossbones' early years was a problem for Cap on many occasions. All right, so the DC what is it, DCEU?
It's just DCU now.
Yeah, it's they're off and running now, so everything is connected and everything is under he's responsible for at this point.
Yeah, this is all his stuff now.
Yeah.
The next episode is it Weasel's episode next, or is it the robot? It might be the robot. GI robot. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, and that's every Thursday.
The one who would not stop talking about killing Nazis.
Yeah. I was like, who is this guy? I thought he looked like the guy from Invincible, the one robot.
The robot from Robot.
Yeah. And just real quick, Invincible season 3 will be back February 6th next year. There won't be a break in the season like it was last year.
Good. Part
of this year. I did watch the Watchmen anime. You're not missing anything. Okay. It's almost
just the same story over again.
I'm not saying this to be smart or condescending or stating the obvious, but you could just watch the Snyder movie. It's blow for blow that. I thought with animation they would add some more stuff in there, and it was only a little. And, if you like to watch it, definitely check it out. If you were on the fence, I don't know what to tell you. But it wasn't bad. It just wasn't anything new.
I wonder why they were compelled to make that. I really don't know. Understand.
I really don't know. It was weird. I wonder if they got something. Well, no, I don't know.
Watchmen's got one story, and it's been told many times.
Yeah.
Why did we tell it again?
Nothing new coming. It's the same story.
Yeah. It'll be different. It was something else, a reimagining of the story or something, but it was the same thing.
I haven't been hyped for the Watchmen ever. I was hyped when I heard about the comic. Oh, it's so good. But when I finally got to read it, it was a tough read. It didn't blow me away.
Alan Moore could be an acquired taste.
He can. I mean, I read some stuff that's good, but that was not. That wasn't it. No, I guess it was those artsy guys that drink coffee with pinky up. Maybe they liked it, and didn't do it for me.
Alan Moore looks like a guy who lives in a cave.
Yes. He looks like a time traveler. Like he just looks crazy. Like what's wrong with you, man?
Like that captain from
Quincy.
Star Trek Voyager that got stuck in the 90s or something.
You ready to get beat down?
Are you ready to get beat down? I don't think you know what you're asking for. Capcom Fighting Collection.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think Quincy knows what he's up for.
You know what? I haven't been training, man. So like,
don't give me no excuses now.
PS4.
You was talking that big shit.
That's what I do. But like, I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Okay,
okay. I'll let you know.
I might get that, but I've been out of that fighting game for a while.
Yeah, you better stay out of this one, man. This is like Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
My son retired me, so I'm done.
Damn,
I can't beat him. It's over.
Yeah,
I had to fight him for real. I had to beat him. I had to put my hands on him.
Oh man, he beat you. He's like, go to bed and don't ask for no death.
Fuck you up first, though. Come here.
Right? I'm gonna teach you to beat me.
Sound like my man. His son beat him in, was it Madden or 2K? Or 2K? He's like, man, he better than me now. He ain't even. He wasn't. It was no wavering. He's like, he's better than me right now. I was like, I ain't never admitting that shit, but that's your son. Like, if you're gonna lose to somebody, it's okay to be the son, I guess. All right, so we're at the main event now. PlayStation 30th anniversary. You guys, it's been around 30 years. Where were you 30 years ago? Mike, you the oldest one here. Where were you 30 years ago?
Damn, as we call me out. 30 years ago in 1994. Oh, 19 going. This would be 90 going to 95. This is my second year out of high school, so I think I'm working at Bojangles. Bojangles getting ready to be Video Hut, which was like the video store before it was a local video store. So, I got the PlayStation like everybody else. This is, I got the modded one. I eventually modded my PlayStation, got the chip in it. Played a lot of bootleg games from Japan or whatever. Bootleg movies. It was.
Now, how old were you?
In 95. Well, this 94. One I was, 20? 19, 20? 19?
Youngster.
Yeah, it was young. I still had decent knees. I could walk.
Now, what about you, Jay?
I think I was in college. I think it was my freshman year.
Okay, and
when you come out of high school, Jay?
I graduated in 94.
Okay,
so
that been a freshman year.
That summer I started.
Yeah, I was playing around in like the community college. That's all I was going playing around. I wasn't doing that.
What about you, Rob?
I believe I was starting middle school.
Oh wow, you're a baby.
Damn.
I was 12. I was 12 years old then. So
I was 14. I was 14.
Oh,
yeah. So like this is like the going into the first year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had a Sega. Probably had a Sega before this.
Sega Genesis.
Sega and
Super Nintendo.
I was there for the real console wars like y'all. So I was Nintendo man.
I was too. It took me a while to warm up to the PlayStation.
Now, I went from Nintendo to Sega. I don't know why I didn't go to Super Nintendo. I think it was Sonic. I think I was really just like that's what drew me in. But I never had a Super Nintendo. Like the NES was my that was the only one I had till the 64, which is another episode. But PlayStation 1, like now, did you buy one or did you go to someone's house and they had one and you were like, oh, what's this?
I had enough friends who had one that I was able to.
Yeah, my buddy had one first, and I got one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I got one maybe. I think a year after its release for one of my birthdays.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So I was at 14. Was my friend Lamont. He had one, and I don't know. What was the first game I played on there. It might have been Madden. Man, because I was really good. Man, I was taking people money. And man, like I couldn't. That was me. Like if you want to lose, I got you. But PlayStation 1 was different. Like you could play music on that one, right?
Mhm.
That one couldn't play. Could that one play movies?
I don't think that one play movies.
I don't think
No,
two
I
play
don't.
movies.
It was just the music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it gave us that experience, and then I know we don't remember them now, but you remember how big a deal the memory cards were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your whole damn life be on them joints. You would take
Walk
it with
around
you.
with them in the mall.
Yeah, you take it with
know.
you. Yeah.
Take
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to your
you take it
boy's
with you.
house.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Memory card came with you.
right. And I do remember some of the titles on there. Now this was high school. I remember what was the name? Was it not Need for Speed? What the hell is the name of that?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking. It's not.
What was the name? Was it Need for Speed? It might have been Need for Speed. But some of the big titles, like the one that always jumps out first for me was Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah.
Like I didn't play the first one, but Twisted Metal 2, like we used to play that shit for hours and hours. Like we used to fight against each other in private matches doing the story mode. But that's my probably number one. Tenchu. I remember the first time I seen Tenchu. I was in Funko on 69th Street. I don't know if you remember, Jay. You used to be in Philly. There was a Funko.
I remember that Funko. Yeah.
I was in there for another game, and these fools was playing it behind the counter. It's like, what the hell is this? And Tenchu was great. Like it was like one of the gems on PlayStation 1. So it's Twisted, Tenchu, Metal Gear.
Yes, you gotta bring
Final Fantasy 7.
Now I got a story about that one. The guy, I was in college because we had the first PlayStation. It was around for a while. But I got to college. The guy was fighting the last boss for like 45 minutes, for an hour. I'm like, what are you doing? His name was Breon. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm fighting the boss. And I sit there and watched him. And I never got into Final Fantasy in any of those games, but I watched people play those.
Yeah, I couldn't understand the turn-based fight. Like, I couldn't get that. Like, what? I couldn't understand. I didn't understand the mechanics behind it, so I just left it alone. I wanted to play it, but I couldn't get it.
And my first turn-based RPG was on the NES, Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warrior, yep. Hell yeah, that was my first one too.
My mom got it for me because she thought it was you had to be smart to play it. She was like, well, you have to read, so here you go.
What are some of the games that jump out for you on the PlayStation 1?
Oh,
Jay. Go ahead, Robert. I
was just gonna throw out Street Fighter Alpha 3. I remember playing the shit out of that game on there.
Yeah.
Was it Rival Schools? I think that was another one of those on there. That was great. You already said Final Fantasy 7. That was a big one. Shoot, there was another one that I can't think of it.
I'm gonna throw this one out for you guys. Did you guys play Armored Core?
Yeah, Armored Core.
Yeah, Armored Core a little bit.
Mm-hmm. In college, we talk about packing up it was funny, like the memory cards. It was like I'm packing up my shit. I'll be over there with my AC, and you used to be able to fight other people's robots, and you would just bring your memory card, load it up. Resident Evil 2 was the first one I played.
Resident Evil.
You want to talk about like beating the shit out of a game? I was so fucking good at that game. There was a challenge. You had to beat the game under 3 hours. Can't use first aid. You can't die. And I was able to do that a couple times. Like we just had too much time. We were younger, man.
Right back in the day.
Yeah.
I ain't got none of that time no more.
No, I was like, I got shit to do. Mike, what are some of the games that jump out for you for PS4?
The Resident Evil 1 and 2 jumped out for me. Yeah, like I said, I've said it multiple times on the podcast. The damn dog busted up windows. It's still one of the scariest jump scares in all games for me.
Oh yeah, that first jump scare.
That first time, because he never did it again. It was a different angle. You saw him look through the window, and then Next thing you walk through is shit! I dropped my controller. I promise you, that's one of the scariest moments. We breezed by, but we didn't give it enough attention. Metal Gear Solid needs a whole. It damn needs a show. And you had to move the memory card around. You had to move the he read your memory card. You had to move the joystick.
Psycho Mantis,
Psycho. And it took so long for people to figure that out. Like, how do you beat this dude?
I was working by this time. I was working at a video store. The people were renting the Metal Gear Solid, and they would call back up. I need something off the box. You had to go and you had to find out was the frequency. I already knew what they were calling for as soon as I didn't even tell them this is what you need. So you ain't got to call back.
Before the internet, we could just look it up on Google.
You could just look it up, right?
One thing about the game, not to cut you off, but that Metal Gear Intense came out around the same time. Like, I hate those predicaments where you're playing two games at the same time because they just drop, and you're just like, I'm fucked right now. But go ahead, Mike.
Was Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver on Mega?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Aren't they supposed to be remaking
Soul
that?
Reaver was beautiful.
It's
coming out here
in the
pretty
PS.
soon, yeah.
It's I thought I saw it on the PSN network.
You can get the
remake.
originals, but the remakes are coming. I think they're coming out soon.
Soul Reaver.
Or remasters, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, I didn't play the first Legacy Kain, so I had no idea about the Kain character himself.
Yeah.
But I did play Soul Reaver, and I think it was beautiful. Just the voice acting alone was beautiful.
Yeah. That was probably the standout. The other games after it was just, we were talking about Loki. Like Soul Reaver was another time travel fuck storm. It's like you think, what the hell is happening?
When he grew them wings and he surpassed Kain, and Kain ripped his wings off.
The going into the spectral plane and how things would change around when you were in the ghost form. It was the one guy you were going to fight and he was already dead, and you had to fight him. It was something weird. Like you had to go to the spectral realm and you could see him and talk to him there. But in the physical realm, like I forgot who killed him, but it was just a great. That's another depressing game too, though. That's another great game. But yeah, that one set a new standard for gaming. You had the music, you had the memory cards because if you did play a game, and I'm only going off a Sega experience now. You had to put in like a code,
code in.
They had numbers and letters and pound signs and all that other shit. And it was like, it wasn't hard, but the memory cards it was a brand new game. Like you just save it on here. You can go and manage it. Like if you didn't put the game in, you could go and manage your memory card, see what's in there. I had like 3 at one point because they fill up. Yeah. And I don't remember how much they cost. Mike, you remember how much? I don't think they were that much. They could have been more than $20.
Yeah, 20 sounds about right.
Yeah, they weren't screwing us over at that point.
What Mortal Kombat was on that?
Maybe
3?
The original. Yeah. Let me see.
Was it 3?
Because Trilogy was on. Trilogy and 3 were on Super.
Let me see.
It was. Didn't they put Trilogy on there?
Was it 4?
I think they put Trilogy in. Yeah, no,
it might have been
4,
that.
4 was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3. Trilogy. The Trilogy was on there. So.
Tomb Raider. We forget about Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider 2 was the one where I came in, and that's still one of the better games I've ever played.
I remember the racing game you're talking about, Ridge Racer.
Yes,
Ridge Racer.
Yes. And we had
Silent Hill.
We did have that. I was just about to mention that one, but I'm never going back. But that game was a creepy as fuck game. It was a really creepy game. And there's nothing like the only time I went back was to watch the movies, and they were both creepy.
Right.
Those are
Silent Hill is too much for me. I don't like scary games anyway. But
I don't. Symphony of Night.
Castlevania.
That was a great game.
That was the truth.
What made Silent? I'm going to Silent Hill just real quick. The thing that made that one even more creepy is that you were almost helpless. They were like, the guy couldn't shoot too far. You're fighting, like, in Resident Evil games, there's a point when you're like safe, when you find that weapon stash and you got rocket launchers and AKs and what was the handgun that could like penetrate through multiple the Desert Eagle.
The Desert Eagle.
Yeah. So you were almost safe. Like you had weapons to deal with most shit, but Silent Hill U was never safe. And then it had like different events that you had to trigger, or you would get it with different endings. And you had to beat the game once to get this really weird ending. Wait, it was like a UFO ending, like, and it was like a stone or something that you found early in the game, and there were different parts where you had to activate something, and he would see like lights in the sky, and you couldn't even finish the game. Like if you did the UFO ending, you couldn't finish the game. That was your ending. You got kidnapped. And like that was the end. Like you couldn't finish the game.
What game is this?
Silent Hill. Like look up the UFO ending.
Yeah, I never played Silent Hill. I was like I'm like Resident Evil was enough for me. I played Resident Evil 2 and that was it. I haven't finished 4 yet, and that's on like every system since history. I can't.
That one was good. That one, and I know there were games between those two, but 4 with Leon, that kind of like saves the
Plagueis or whatever. I still got the walkthrough book for the GameCube. I think it came on GameCube first. I still got that. I still have the GameCube game, but I just.
And you remember the walkthroughs? They would actually sell the walkthroughs with the game,
big
right?
$25 books. Like put them on your bookshelf. Some big ass books.
Sometimes it was needed.
And then GameFAQs came out.
Yeah, the internet, and they're like, I don't need those books. Let me look this up. Resident Evil 4 was really good, and before that they had Code Veronica, which was that was hard. That was a hard game, and I think we're skipping ahead.
Final Fantasy Tactics, I remember that. That was good.
I remember that one, and Marvel Superheroes was on PS1.
Did you guys ever play?
We were talking about just real quick about the Silent Hill before we get off of it. Silent Hill and GTA, the first one.
The first one. Wow.
The first one. We were talking
the isometric view.
I haven't played either one of these games, but I knew the history of the game. I knew about how foggy Silent Hill was. I knew about how you were paging the guy paging you to get whatever in GTA. And I had to write it was a paper or something. I was in my Linux class semester before last, and it was talking about these games. I'm like, and my old ass felt old because the games that I remember playing or at least they was around when I was young was in like school books. It was part of the
part of the history
about exactly like this is like how it's okay to make mistakes because this game it was so foggy and the guys realized that was the game because they were more into the scariness of the fog, and they were more interested in the paging than the actual game. Running from the cops was more fun than doing this. And that's how they changed to make that. I'm like, damn, I know this shit. I was around when this shit happened. I was like, I felt old as hell doing this process. My teacher was like, I know what they're talking about. It's like, you do? Like,
yeah, because I had it. I owned it.
Yeah. Like, this ain't history, goddammit.
I went to the store to buy this.
I was at the rental store. I was working, I had a job.
That and like it's just been around. It was like 4 years from the 80s, PS1, like, and it's old. Like, and when I saw the announcement or the message on my PlayStation, I'm like 30 years. Like, that's crazy. 30 years. Now, there were other games.
Spyro.
I
the Dragon.
You never played Spyro?
I played the first one.
Parappa the Rapper.
I remember that. I have one for you.
I never played it, but my buddy was in love with it. Him and his
WCW
daughter.
versus the World. Did you play that?
I remember that.
I think WCW games were better on 64. 64
it was, but this at that time, this was all we had. It was like a small WCW roster. It was still some NWO in there, but it was a lot of their overseas wrestlers. And then when it got to 64, it opened up the roster. So we're going to go to 2000 when the PS2 came out. All right. Now, I always remember this as a weird time because this was like Dreamcast, N64.
Yeah, I was more into Dreamcast and N64 than PS2.
Dude, I had all of those. I had a book bag because I had I would go to my friend's house and put the 64 up. We played Dreamcast and the PlayStation. We just whatever we felt like playing. Like this was like the crossroads of like gaming right now.
It was like the best time in gaming,
right? Because it was like you were almost like an amateur. I ain't gonna say electrician, but you were like an installator. You know, you could go to anybody's house. Like we're using this TV. You're like, all right, put the wires here. This station right here. No, we don't need that. I got this, and boom, you got it. Like we were all doing that. You know,
real quick, wasn't the PlayStation was part of Nintendo at first? It was Nintendo Game Station, right?
It was supposed to be the CD drive for the
Super Nintendo, like the Sega CD drive. It was supposed to be that, right?
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I got a picture of it. I'll put it in the chat.
And Nintendo didn't want it, so Sony was like, "Well, we'll
do it ourselves." Yeah.
So I'm gonna mention this one first because Mike just mentioned it. This is my first like intro. So 20 years old. I think I was about to move out my mom's. I was about to move out. I was still at my mom's house, and I remember I bought it. I remember because she wanted me to move out, but I bought this. And I remember showing it to her. She's like, "Why are you wasting your money on this?" I'm like, "You can play movies." First movie I played on there was like Goodfellas. I remember that. And I was like, "Yeah, this is it right now." Yeah,
I got PS2.
Yeah, PS2 and GTA. This first time I played GTA, and I remember. I don't know if you remember the commercials, like opera music, and you know the guy. I was like, "What is this?" And then it was a part 3. I'm like, "Why have I never heard of this?" Like GTA is like an experience. All right, like I didn't get there on the ground floor, but I was close to the ground floor. GTA 3 was great. And after that, it was Vice City and San Andreas. And me and Olivia would argue about which one was better, Vice City or San Andreas. And you know, I was like, "You only like Vice City because the main character is white," and she's like, we would be messing with each other about that. But it was like an evolution with those games. You know, you had Ray Liotta voicing in Vice City. It was a lot of it's voice actors in all of them. I remember the guy you played on the third one didn't talk, and then you had Ray Liotta, and then San Andreas was just that might still be the best one. My favorite one. Let me say that favorite one for me. Yeah, the Splinter Cell series on the PS2. Yeah, Snake Eater, which is that's still an all-time game for me. That's Metal Gear 3. Omnimushu series.
Oh yeah.
The Devil May Cry series.
May Cry, SSX.
Shadow Colossus. SOCOM. Then y'all play SOCOM?
No. I never played SOCOM. I never played Shadow Colossus, but I never played either one of them.
And Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I think that was that my thing? 3?
Resident Evil 4 was dope.
Resident Evil 4 was on there. Now, this is like when it started to like PlayStation. We always remember stuff like fondly in our minds. So the graphics were at a certain point in PlayStation. you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So PlayStation 2, you started to see like, oh shit, first games like that, like Omnimushu series, like they were all good. Second one is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, great.
I thought that game was beautiful. What are some? We're gonna do the same thing on this one. What games stuck out for you on this system? Like, where were you? Like when this dropped, and when you were playing these games.
This is right out of high school for me.
The one thing I remember about this is when I first got online with SOCOM, and I was in a clan. Was it SOCOM 1 or SOCOM 2? It was a big clan, and it broke up because of a racist remark. I remember, and like the clan was so big. I remember we were still playing, and we'd be in the lobby talking. And people were like, "Oh, you the guys from that clan that broke up." I remember hearing that. I was like, "Well, what?" I don't know how big that clan was back then, but I remember I got internet in my apartment just to play online, just to play SOCOM. But let's talk about you guys' experiences with what games stuck out. You guys just fire away.
We already mentioned
game-wise,
a few.
It was the Onimusha series. I think PS2 had one of the best libraries.
Yeah.
I got my PS2 launch day. Like I was when I pre-ordered mine. So I walked past a long line towards Toys R Us with a bag with a PlayStation in my hand. Everybody's in line to get nothing. I still got that. It don't play, but I still got it in my garage.
I still got
right
mine
now.
too. Yeah, I got all my PlayStations.
Yeah, I don't have my PS1. My man Gary has it, and I've been messaging him online to get it back, and he's been ignoring me. But I don't think that pops out really. I'm sure something else will come to me. It is Onimusha. Like I said, y'all know I just bought those this summer from a store in Wilmington. I just bought the first three.
Oh yeah,
I didn't play that fourth one, but I bought all three of those.
You don't need to. Yeah. You don't need to.
That Devil May Cry was a good one. Like I said, that was.
The first one was really good. Second one was a little booty. Then the third one came back.
See, I haven't came back to it. I stopped out to the second one. I didn't even finish the second one.
You don't need to. One thing I remember about Devil May Cry, the games took place in different orders. Like the third one came before the first one, and the third one the third one happened before. Excuse me. Second one happened before the third one. And the second one ended with him riding a bike into hell. And I didn't really play 4 or 5. I was kind of retired from the Devil May Cry series after the third one.
Anybody say God of War yet?
Yeah, God of War.
Yeah, I mentioned God of War.
God of War.
1, 2, and 3. Yeah. No, those were great. Yeah.
I remember the first time I played God of War, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. I always say Kratos kind of stole Dante's his shine there. It was Dante, and then it was just Kratos, and I'm trying to think the third one. The second and third one, I'm gonna say specifically really stood out for me. Those are really good games.
Really good.
What else you got? Rob, you want to tell us some of your PlayStation 2 memories here?
Definitely Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Kingdom Hearts as well.
Mm-hmm.
The big RPGs. I think I'm probably the only one here who bought the hard drive accessory, so I could play. I could play Final Fantasy XI, the MMO, on my PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think I got 1 and 2. I don't think I played the third one after. And then the Budokai, the Dragon Ball Budokai games.
Oh, yeah.
Those are big. And I know I played some of the Pro Skaters. I can't remember which one. Was it number 3? That's that, or 4? I can't remember which one was on PS2.
Okay. Now, you talked about accessories. This is when the DualShock came in, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those controllers used to be sturdy as a fucking truck, and they were only $20.
Yeah.
Right now I have 4 $80 controllers, and they all have drifting.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's criminal. Start a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, it's criminal. just make it so that my DualShock can work on my PS5 again. I'll be fucking happy. That would be my settlement request. I'm like, I'm suing y'all, and I just want a wired control option because this is some bullshit.
I like how the very capitalist solution that Sony put out. Like, here, buy this $200 Pro controller that you can swap out the joysticks easily if you get drift. It's like, why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah, drifting will have me almost ready to break the controller.
It is easy to fix. I did do it on one of my controllers. It just takes.
What do you have to do?
You just got to take it apart, and you buy a little device on Amazon. They basically 3D print the mechanism that controls the actual joystick itself. You just plop it out, plop it back in, or plop a new one in. Yeah, just look up on YouTube. It's pretty easy to do once you get the controller apart.
Okay. Jay,
Prince of Persia,
The
Sands of Time.
Oh yeah.
That game never played those. Yeah,
oh really?
Never played.
Yeah, that was great.
Wasn't PS2 the first Call of Duty?
Was it?
You're probably right.
The World War II one?
Call of Duty, or what was the other shooter that was like Call of Duty?
Oh, was it Medal of Honor?
Yeah, Medal of Honor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one, yeah. Like you said, Call of Duty. Let me see what we got. PlayStation Call of Duty. Yeah. Finest Hour, Legacy. Yeah. War at World. Yeah. PlayStation 2. Yep. You nailed it.
X-Men Legends on there. Legends 2.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I played both of those. Those are good.
Did you play Hulk Ultimate Destruction?
No.
This
I
was.
say I did, but I don't remember playing it. I want to say I did.
This is one of the best superhero games like ever made. You were fighting giant.
I do remember. I remember that game.
You can catch missiles. You can throw it. Some of the stuff he was doing in his movies is from the game. Like in the first, not the Ang Lee one, but you know when he grabbed the car,
cars
and broke it in half.
boxing gloves.
That's from the game.
Yeah,
that's from the game, and it was really good. And then they ruined it by making I don't know which system it was, but it was like a sequel or a remake. But this time you can play as Bruce Banner in stealth missions. Nobody wants to fucking do that shit. Okay, like the whole.
It's called Total Destruction for a reason,
right? And I forget what the second one was called, but it's like, oh, let's add stealth missions. It's like no,
like nobody wants to do stealth with the Hulk.
No,
yeah, how's that even possible? A Hulk stealth mission? That's not possible.
Like nobody wants to play Bruce Banner unless dialogue is involved. But that game was pretty good. I swear, like PlayStation 2 had the most games I bought because I saw someone playing it in like Funko or somewhere, and I just bought it then and there. And Shadow Colossus, didn't you guys play that?
Yeah,
that
game was crazy.
No, I didn't.
It is.
I saw it. I never played it.
Mike, it was what was it, 12 or 13? It was 12 or 13 bosses. That's all that was in like this land, and you had to kill each one. But it was like a puzzle to figure out how to kill. It's a beautiful game. But that I remember that one. They I think they have a PS5 port for that. But yeah, PlayStation was from when did I say that was? March 2000 until let's see, 2008. I think this is the one that lasted I feel like this one was out the longest without competition.
Yeah.
From an upgrade from Sony.
I was still on my Dreamcast thing though.
But see, we are going to backpedal to that. Wait, is this right? October, PS2. Oh Jesus, I put PS2. We are going to talk about that because that was so that was 6 years that before the PS3 came out. And the Nintendo 64, I know we're talking. We're not going to dig too deep because we're talking about the PlayStation anniversary, but Dreamcast and N64 and the PlayStation, like I legitimately had bags like packed up, right, where I could just move them to different places. And Dreamcast, it was because of they had a great Sonic game that came out when the Dreamcast. Soul Calibur, NFL football.
Was that 2K?
Yeah, where you could call the plays inside the
in the little VMU thing.
Yeah. Oh my god,
I still got some of those. I got like 3 or 4 of them in the basement.
Man, if you play like Madden or like a sports game, you know how you gotta like go into a formation, come out so that the other person can't. Especially if you're in the room with them. Like, you had to kind of, like, mix it up so they couldn't see what you were doing. But with this, they couldn't see what you were doing. You could pick the plays. And I'm trying to... There were some other games.
I had so many games on the Dreamcast.
A lot. It was a lot. And...
Crazy Taxi. And
there's...
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, all the Marvel vs. games. All of those.
Soul Calibur, yeah.
But then there was N64, and that one, you could have 4 people playing if they had the mic. That had a very good Star Fox game.
Oh, I love
very
Star
good.
Fox.
You had the GoldenEye,
F-Zero.
Yeah, F-Zero, and there's a game, Perfect Dark. Did you guys play
Perfect Dark? Yeah.
Perfect Dark was I don't know what we had so much time when we was younger. I swear to God. we can start playing now and not be done till 3. And the guns on Perfect Dark. I know that was supposed to have been another 007 game, and it just spun off on its own thing. Perfect Dark was great. And I'm forgetting some other games, but it was really some competition around that time. Until it just folded into Xbox and PlayStation down the line. But that was I just remember having games packed up.
Dreamcast had the best release. $9.99.
Yeah. Yep. And like, how much was a PlayStation 2 here? Let me see.
It's probably like $300 or $400.
You said $300 or $400?
300.
All right, let's see what it was.
$299.
How much did it cost? It was, yep, you got it, $299. Price is right. All right, so you win. But PlayStation 2, we were going back to that. A lot of good games. And there were new series.
No microtransactions.
No microtransactions. Complete
simpler,
games.
The game was complete when you bought it.
No DLCs. Yep, exactly. And Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell was my jam.
Splinter Cell was dope.
Snake Eater. I got a thing for like period pieces. And that's why I like Captain America. But the Snake Eater was like during the Cold War, and it was really different from the first two. You were outside, you were eating snakes and animals and all that other stuff. It was just a great game. I just finished beating that earlier this year, and it was still great. It was still a great game, and the only thing that might have overshadowed that was the sequel, which was Guns of the Patriot. I know I'm jumping ahead, but it was just a lot of good games with PlayStation 2. When I was looking at the list earlier today, I'm like, damn, love this game. And it was just a good experience. I didn't have any kids in 2000, 2006, just playing games, buying memory cards, and staying up all night playing the game.
Right.
You guys have anything else for the PlayStation 2?
I forgot to bring up Twisted Metal Black.
Yes.
That was a really good one.
With the painted black intro, yeah.
That
was good.
I like the destructible environments and the transitions. You can go between stages and stuff. That's just really cool.
There was one more, and I just forgot. Damn.
It wasn't a game, but I think it was the first wireless controller I had. It was, as far as official, it had the plug-in.
Was it
that on the PlayStation? I think what was it? The Wavebird for GameCube, but the PlayStation it was a plug-in, and your receiver was plugged in, but the controller was blue, I believe. It was an official Sony controller.
Okay,
that was the first wireless controller I had. And I was working at Circuit City at that time, and you know how some DVDs would play through the VCR, some wouldn't. I had a lot of headache with that, but I made some money off of it, so it was what it was.
You had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on PS2 also. All right, so we have PlayStation 3 and 4, but we're going to save that for the next episode. Yeah. We're going to wrap it up. Just to give you guys, we're at an hour and a half. We like to keep it a lean hour to an hour and a half, and we have something else to talk about when we get back on. So, did you guys have anything else?
Real quick before we go, which PlayStation theme did you put on your PS5?
Oh, PS1. The PS1.
Okay, yeah, I put PS2. PS1.
It was a hard. I sat there for 15 minutes now, and I was like, "Damn, which one do I want?" But I like how, like the volume. It comes on. I like that, so I went with
which theme. You could put a theme on the PS5.
Yeah.
The temporary for the anniversary. Yeah.
Man, I ain't even turned on, so I could
just don't have don't put the PS1 theme on in a dark room on a big ass TV because you're gonna go blind.
Yeah, you're gonna have stroke. Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap this up, guys. If you're listening, hit the subscribe button, recommend, and we are going to cover PlayStation 3, 4, and 5. On the next episode, we brought up some classic games. We are getting into some new territory, some new franchises that will appear on the PS3 platform. But we'll talk about that next time we are on. And with that, we are going to get out of here, and I'm gonna leave you with a little "Till All Are One," and we're going to bounce out of here.
Till
All right, peace out, guys.
All right, peace. Thanks for listening.